The history of Sri Lankan art is as ancient as its ancestry. The origin and evolution of Sri Lankan art dates back to the Homo Balangudesia era. Since Sri Lanka has been a trade hub from ancient times, there were foreign influences on local art. In other words, different forms of art penetrated our island. As a result, many forms of foreign artistic influence and styles have fused with local art, such as the famous Sigiriya frescoes to the many viharas. One can come to this conclusion by examining home decor of that era. Apart from the wall paintings from viharas taking into consideration paintings on canvas, one can come to the conclusion that it took root in this country after the English invasion. There was only a handful of artists who had the Sri Lankan style and drew on canvas. Only a meager number of artists have chosen the human form in their art. Among them, the present generation artist Sameera Kalupahana takes precedence. This is about him. The road along the coast leading to the south is very picturesque. Starting from the capital city, it stretches through the coastal belt to the southern half. Passing the holy city of Kaluthara, you come across Maggona, Payagala and then to the town of Beruwala. This is his hometown. Turning left along Kirantidia Avenue, after a fair distance, you reach Valathara. This is his birthplace. This is his school teacher, Mr. B.S. Pereira, who taught him.
I met Sameera at Valathara Kanishta Vidyalaya when he was studying in the 5th standard. Then the principal was Mrs. Samarasundara. She said one day that Sameera will become a great artist. Sameera studied for some time and then left for Madhya Mahavidyalaya, Beruwala. There he studied commercial subjects. He passed his JC advanced level. One day I came to meet Sameera Kalupahana for a picture. He said, "Sir, let us draw your portrait." I said, "Yes." And he drew my portrait. 3 or 4 days, and after that he completed my portrait. Then he wanted to draw pictures about the glimpses of my surroundings. When we speak about the glimpses of surroundings, it is a very complex matter. It is the surroundings of Beruwala. In Beruwala there are Muslims, Buddhists, Christians and Tamils. All these communities live together. They get together for important occasions. The Buddhists by nature are the farming community. The Christians by nature are fishermen. The Muslims are traders. So all these complicated matters come into the pictures of Sameera Kalupahana. Sameera Kalupahana is a realist in art. He is a realist. All his art is realism. He has followed the great artists of the 18th century, 19th century and 20th century, and also the artists of ancient times. He is well known not even in Sri Lanka but in other countries also. In this exhibition, Sameera wants to point out the glimpses of his surroundings, where he was born, where he studied, where he got the inspiration, and how he went to school, how he changed his schools, and finally how he went to Libavi Academy of Fine Arts. And at Libavi came the turning point of his life. There he met Mr. Chandragupta Tenuwara, the renowned artist. He is the best known portrait artist in this country. He studied under him. And because of this, Sameera turned out to be a great artist. Today, Sameera stands in a place that no one can reach in the Kalutara district. I have seen artists in Kalutara district, but no one can come closer to Sameera Kalupana. Sameera is mostly a self-taught artist. He is a born artist. His talent is born, and he has experienced a lot in art. He has devoted most of his art to rural surroundings where he grew up. He grew up in the village of Walatara. Walatara is about 2.5 miles from Beruwal. He lived from his infancy in this area. He has travelled a lot. He has seen a lot, and this has helped him to become a good artist. Sameera's art is always interesting, and also it is very beautiful, very lucid and very far-seeing. And he has excelled also in landscapes and still life. His still life and landscapes are also not second to his portraits. Sameera has a long way to go as an artist. I hope that he will be one of the greatest artists in this country. And Sameera as an artist is also a very good character. He is nearing 40 years. All these 40 years he has been a student. And I hope that he will become a student even in future. An artist must be a student throughout his life. No one is perfect in art. An artist must learn all throughout his life. Therefore, what he said is true. I must learn and learn for the rest of my life.
After his school education, he joined the Vibhavi Academy of Fine Arts, where he was educated for 7 years. The area where Sameera lives is very beautiful, with many nationalities, languages and religions. Due to this, there are many cultural differences. Muslim women in colorful saris can be seen walking down the streets. Some of them are seen wearing black cassocks. Herds of goats line up along the walls. This is the busy city of Beruwala. A Muslim man clad in white tends to his herd of goats. Several people dressed in colorful attire together with a man in a white cap with his bunch of king coconuts tied to his bicycle, travel along the road. A colorful array of boats are anchored along the shores as if relaxing after bringing home the fishermen from the sea. The fishermen sought their catch, in a bid to find some solace to their poverty-stricken lives. The toddy tapper walks the rope with precaution as he has his family in mind. Several shops built under varied circumstances line the streets. Some of these shops are sheds or temporary constructions. Among the scenes touched by the tip of Sameera's paintbrush are bylanes with shops adorned with colorful plastics, gunnies and wood strips, churches and various buildings, animals such as cattle and dogs, and also the enchanting seashore. This emphasizes amply their lifestyles, social, cultural and political backgrounds. This is similar to a form of historic records. Most often, in a country like Sri Lanka, there was a form of abstract expressionistic trend. In other words, artists guided by the trend of modern art and who were hard-working were the ones who were being highlighted. With a person like Sameera joining the world of art, he added a desire to work with a human body, and one could call it a special feature that could be continued. For instead of it being a praiseworthy profession, it is more in line with incidents related to people's lives, and it was a form of art that dealt with the things attached to people's lives. Men's surroundings and ability to express his life experiences. Therefore, since Sameera isn't restrained by catering to abstract art, I think by pursuing his approach and inclination, he is establishing himself as an artist with a unique style focusing on the human form. Therefore, I find that he is now choosing his preferred subjects free from deep study and reflection alone. he is a realist. Sameera has chosen to portray the society he lives in and the lifestyles of the people in his community instead of focusing on painting nude figures. Most think that an artist should center his life and work around Colombo.
ප්‍රකාශ කිරීම උත්සාහයක් ඔහුගේ චිත්‍රවල තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා මා හිතනවා ඒ සමීර ඒ උදෙක්ම කොළඹින් බැහැරව අනෙක් පැත්තෙන් කොළඹින් බැහැරව ජීවත් වෙන චිත්‍ර ශිල්පියෙක් නැත්නම් හැමෝම කොළඹට ඇවිල්ලා කොළඹම
But Sameera has thought it more appropriate to capture the lives of the society he lives in. He has thereby established himself as a unique artist who relates the story of his village.
නමුත් ඔහු තමාගේ ගම්පෙදෙසේ
Through his work, he brings to life as an aspect of his society and their lifestyles that we would otherwise fail to notice.
ප්‍රදේශයේ ප්‍රකාශකයා බවට පත් විය හැකියි. ඒ ප්‍රදේශයේ ජන සමූහයාගේ සිතුම් පැතුම් සහ උන්ගේ දේවල් ගැන අලුතෙන් යමක් අපිට නොදැකපු දෙයක් ඔහුට කියා දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ නිසා ඒ වැදගත් කොට මා සලකනවා.
Normally, artists use flower vases or different forms of copper or metal vessels when painting objects. Sameera takes this to a different platform. He instead paints a vessel used to prepare food in his home or some article utilized in a similar way. This depicts their economic status and general living standards. At times, it is a cross-section of an economy of a country like Sri Lanka. When painting a broken kitchen utensil, a damaged coconut spoon, a strainer or a clay pot on canvas, one has to appreciate the way in which he uses color combinations and especially his brush strokes. Sameera shows great aptitude and dexterity in drawing portraits. At present, he is considered an outstanding portraitist in the island. He brings to life on his canvas villagers who suffer from various social injustices, irresponsible politicians, aging teachers who have dedicated their very lives to imparting knowledge, grieving mothers as well as actresses, emotionless youth, children and adolescents. Thus, he has earned the distinction of being seen as a good man and villager. This is Magalkande Dhammananda Thero, Registrar of the Beruwala Shasanarакෂක Bala Mandalaya, expressing his views. Sameera Kalupahana is a silent, humble and exemplary character. He was brought up in the shelter of the temple with the influence of the serenity of the temple. Although he has risen to the very pinnacle of his profession, these serene religious influences have made him live a simple and silent life. His house is surrounded by lush greenery, creating an aura of serenity. It is a very simple dwelling. He gives meaning and is a source of strength to his village. He has vowed to teach art to over 100 pupils in the Daham Pasala. A splendid portrait of Uduvara Sirisenananda Nayaka Thero was done by the hand of Sameera. The Bodhigarya of this temple is also one of Sameera Kalupahana's creations. We should be proud of having artists of this caliber in this country. We wholeheartedly give him our blessings and hope that he will be able to serve his country with the blessings of the Triple Gem. Sameera has also proven his prowess as a sculptor. His aptitude with the use of watercolors and line drawings is commendable. He sails the ship of his artistic life very leisurely and is in the right direction. He is not an excitable character. He is very docile. He is optimistic and always works toward the right goals in a patient manner. We are a third world country. Every child that is born here sees the light of day cradling poverty in his hands. Injustice, corruption and poverty is all around, endured by men and women. There is much that a good man, a good artist, can fill his canvas with. A great artist called Vasily Kandinsky once said, "Every work of art is the child of its time and invariably becomes the mother of our emotions." If so, he is searching for his next proposal in this human society like the infinite sea.